This video is brought to you by Crimson Tiger Energy. Hi, I'm totally not named Dan, and today I'm here with my buddy Jotakumon, and I can't point in the right direction. Oh well.
Good start, good start.
You know what? Let's keep that in. Let's roll
Yeah,
with it.
of course, yeah.
So how you doing, Jota?
Doing good, doing good. Yeah.
Good? Because recently there's been a new reveal for the My Hero Academia cards, and this isn't set 2, because unfortunately I missed most of the previews for set 2, being busy with the game actually launching here in the UK. But these are the promos that come with set 2, and crap, I've accidentally adjusted the opacity. 1 second.
Gunhead, that's the, not the teacher, but the sort of supervisor of Ochako and the other girl.
Yeah, so a lot of the set 2 stuff and set 2 promos are the heads of the hero agencies with which the students have their internships.
That's it.
In particular, what we're looking at today are the Provisional Showdown promos that you get in the packs for participating in the Provisional Showdown events, which I believe are the slightly larger than locals events, but I'm not exactly sure. Honestly, I've not followed the terminology as well as perhaps I could have done.
Okay, so is this also where we get the non-four-hander, or?
No, that's in the main set.
Okay.
So if you want four kind you can already see elsewhere. But maybe we'll make some decks with him, show him off on stream sometime.
Makes sense, makes sense. Okay, so
this one has, it's a 628, this guy. All Earth Life. So you know from All on Earth that he's going to be throwing out big, hard-hitting attacks, probably drawing a little bit or doing something that's just generically good. But yeah, first form, discard 1 attack, add 1 throw attack from your discard pile to your hand. So this guy always has his best throw as long as he's checked it or seen it once.
Oh, that's nice.
The funny thing is, you can just discard the throw and pick up the throw again for no reason.
Huh, I like that. I like that.
Don't know why you would, but I find it funny that you can. And then Enhance Commit, your non-throw attack gets +3 damage. Your next throw attack gets -3 difficulty and +3 speed.
Oh. Okay. Just to be sure, when the way it reads, I can activate the enhance on a throw attack and it just doesn't give it +3 damage. Is that correct? Or would I have to have a non-throw attack to actually commit it?
Yes, you can use this on a throw attack and just not give it the +3 damage. But the better option is to play a bunch of non-throw attacks and then stack the minus difficulty and just throw out and throw at ridiculous minus difficulty at the end. However, I did miss at first. This is Enhanced Commit, so unless you got a way of readying your character, you're only going to get to do this once per turn.
Yeah. But theoretically, you could do it and then just give the next attack -3 +3. Although, given its first form, it seems like he's probably just going to run 1 throw attack, his best one, and then just like non-throw, throw, or something like that. Yeah.
Now, there is an older character that this reminds me of. This is very similar to, if you let me look him up real quick. Here we go.
Oh, Actual King. Yeah, how could I not know?
King, yeah, from Tekken.
Yeah.
From way back in the day. One of Jasko's first sets, I believe. Or one of the last sets before Jasko.
Tekken characters.
Yeah, he was my favorite Tekken character too, until I realized he wasn't actually a guy with a jaguar head.
Wait, he's an actual jaguar?
No, he's a real person who just wears a mask.
A dragon mask, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which is real lame compared to what he could have been.
True, that could have been cool, yeah. That could have been cool.
Kid me was just like, human. Ooh, this guy's got a jaguar head. He's cool.
Yeah. Although his eyes look very, very jaguar-like, it's almost...
Yeah, it doesn't look like a mask, does it?
It doesn't, no.
And I swear he roared in one of his intro quotes.
Yeah, and exactly, and his mouth it's not possible to have that mouth as a human with a mask. It just doesn't work that way. At least he's somewhat modified his facial structure, right? Has to be.
Yeah.
So anyway, he counts kind of as a jaguar.
Anyway, this guy, his first ability is Form Commit, reveal your hand. If you didn't reveal a throw, you can take a throw with printed difficulty 5 or less from your discard pile and play it with no control check necessary.
That's interesting.
So his whole thing was throw, reveal hand, oh look, no throws. Pick one of them back up, throw it at you.
Yeah, for no cost. I mean, no cost. With no check, yeah. That's pretty good.
So Gunhead's doing a sort of similar thing. but instead he really just wants to pick up the one good throw at the beginning of his turn. So he signposts it a bit more and doesn't actually get a free attack out of the bargain. So he's a lot more balanced.
Yeah, and first four means that it must be the first thing I do, literally, even before putting an attack.
The first thing you do must be pick it up. It doesn't have to be use it immediately.
Oh, okay.
So you'll still, because of the second ability, the enhanced commit, end up using that throw last, probably. So it's same sort of thing, but you signpost your throw a lot more.
Okay.
And also, unlike King, you don't have the ability to just discard your opponent's momentum for basically free every time you throw them.
Oh, I didn't even see that one. That's really good.
So yeah, Gunhead is like balanced King, basically. He's cool. I like Gunhead a lot.
Oh, yeah, I thought it meant King now.
King's also cool. Sadly, they brought in rules specifically to say that you couldn't stack King from Tekken with King from King of Fighters, because that would have been hilarious. Just the idea that you take off the Jaguar mask and suddenly you're like a 5'4" woman or something. Not only change head shape, but change entire body structure.
Also, this does make sense to people who just came into playing MHA, because I don't think they're familiar with the whole concept of playing characters on top of characters, right?
I'll pop up the cards on screen, but yeah, playing characters on top of other characters was a lot more of a regularly done thing outside of MHA.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked some of it.
But I can kind of understand why in the early stages of MHA it might make some characters like Deku, say, or All Might way better than others. So I can see why it's not there for now, but I'm hoping it comes back.
Yeah, it might keep things all easier to balance, so you don't accidentally overpower it by having a character which does something that you didn't expect.
Yeah. Because that was one of the problems with the retro format as well, was we had two different versions of Weasel from Darkstalkers, one of whom was a four-hander with ridiculous four-hander abilities, and the other one of which was a six-hander who could go up to essentially 10 by discarding extra copies of themselves. So if you stacked those two, suddenly you had ridiculous hand size and ridiculous powers and just obliterated everyone.
I see, yeah. Okay.
I made a really good deck with that, came second in the practice event for that format, and then checked really badly for the actual event and came terribly, while somebody else stole my deck, adapted it slightly, and won the whole thing. So yeah, net decking, everyone. Wins games.
Nice. You said before that we only get the characters with no cards.
Yeah, there's no support for Gunhead.
Okay.
This is just a pack of 7 promos of various different things, including a few characters and a few other sorts of cards as well. This character doesn't have any specific support, but there are plenty of throws, plenty of good throws in the game, plenty of which share symbols. I mean, Life gives you access to Deku, for example, which means you get reverse throw, which is fantastic. Especially if you're giving it plus speed to make it actually hard to block.
Oh yeah, the non-reversal reverse throw.
Yeah.
Is it a throw attack though?
Yeah, reverse throw is a throw.
Okay,
it's just not a reversal.
Yeah.
Right, next up we have Selkie.
Oh, cool.
Who, again, one of the internship heroes, the one who taught Sue.
Yeah.
Has a bit less health than the previous one, but is still a 6-hander. And this is Chaos Void Water. And yeah, that's
Tsuyu right away.
A really interesting selection of symbols. So Tsuyu cares about committing and readying herself all the time.
Yeah,
which is probably why this starts out with while this character is committed.
Yeah, that's why I was looking up Tsuyu. If they share a symbol, water, they do, yeah.
Face down cards in your card pool do not count towards progressive difficulty.
Oh.
So does similar things to Mina, who may also have trained under him, but also just that lack of progressive difficulty is very much what Sue does by clearing her pool over and over. First form, Seal 1 Rival Foundation, which as we all know is a ridiculous pun. Love this guy.
Nice.
So you just get to say no to one of your opponent's foundations for the entire turn.
Yeah, that's always just reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no downside to that.
And that's the Void coming in. Response commit after your kick or slam attack deals damage. Flip it and add the top 2 cards of your deck to your momentum.
That is insane.
I'm going to quickly look up whether Mina uses slam, because I know Tsuyu uses kick. No, Mina uses punch or ranged, right, so...
That is so much momentum and so little progressive
Who
difficulty
uses
at the same
slam
time.
in My Hero? Oh, apparently only Ingenium uses slam, so...
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Can you not search it in the keywords instead of searching in the
Yeah, I
card
could
tag?
search who has slam cards, but I wanted to see who actually supports using slam, and only Ingenium has text that cares about it.
Okay. Do they share a symbol?
No,
see
no, they
one,
don't.
no.
Anyway, this generates momentum for your second attack of your first attack turn, basically.
Yeah, but aren't then a bunch of Tsuyu cards, which aren't Tsuyu itself, which readies the character?
Most of Tsuyu's stuff readies the character via her.
Via
So
her,
instead
okay.
it cares about whether the character is ready or committed.
Okay, I see.
But even so, the fact that it cares about whether your character is ready or committed is significant.
Right, it was Tsuyu's own in hand flip on foundation ready this card, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Although
Also,
I thought it would be really busted if somehow you could just keep readying Selkie and get more momentum and then just go into something crazy.
yeah. But also
That'd be-
notice that when he gains that momentum, it's by flipping his attack. So yes, the
Yeah,
attack
exactly.
won't become momentum, but the attack also doesn't count towards progressive because he's now committed.
Yeah, that's what's so ridiculous. One attack becomes 2 instant momentum instead of later
Yeah,
momentum and doesn't add progressive difficulty.
So basically what this is double fatality on your character. This guy has the potential to be crazy if there are good momentum dumps on Symbol, which I believe there are. I don't think there are any insane momentum dumps in MHA, but there are certainly some real good ones.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this guy, watch out for him. He's going to be good.
Yeah, I think I might actually play this card. I like it. I like everything that's like aquatically themed. Like this reminds me of Team Aqua from Pokemon Sapphire. That guy. So it's definitely on my list of characters I'll play.
Yeah, he does have a very Pokemon outfit.
It also reminds me a bit of the new Professor from Pokemon. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he has blue outfits.
Yeah, well, a slightly futuristic blue and grey.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not full on Professor Toro though.
He gets my seal of approval.
You're not the first person to say that. I'll have to dig out the images of people putting the Selkie seal of approval on actual Selkie, because there are those all over Facebook.
I thought I wouldn't be. I was about to make clear how bad the joke was, but yeah.
I just like that he seals things. Then we have Uabami, who is another one of the Hero Agency internship leaders that basically nobody remembers, like Fourkind.
Yeah, that's the one that worked with Croatian Girl. I don't know what her name is again.
Creati is her hero name.
Oh, it actually is Creati.
Momo.
Nice. Momo. Exactly.
Yaoyorozu.
Momo and someone else from Class B, the redhead girl, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know the one.
The thing where they did all the beauty pageant things instead of doing
I don't
hero
remember what her
stuff.
name is, but I remember her. So, 25 health, again, lower than all the others. When the game started, this was normal for six-handers. At this point, 25 health seems real low for them.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos, Earth, Life, so a mix of the symbols of the last two characters we've seen. Earth usually tends to be bigger, healthier, chunkier people, so this is surprising.
Yeah.
So, response at the start of your rival's end phase, add one card from your card pool to your hand, so just pick up your best block, basically. Also, outside of My Hero, that is going to be fantastic with reversals. You can just play the same reversals over and over. But unfortunately, in My Hero, we don't have those.
When you think about that, I thought it was like an okay response, but that's actually nice.
Does she share symbols with... I think she does actually share Chaos with set 1 Todoroki, right?
Yeah, Todoroki, yeah.
Yeah, so set 2 is Fire, Order, Water. Set 1 is Chaos, Fire, Water. Which means his Ice Storm, which is Breaker 2, can be used with her. And so can the other Breaker 2 on a 2 difficulty block from Aoyama.
Yeah, but
which I believe is Naval Laser Beam.
Why would you play Medusa if you can play Ajitsundere Boy?
The important part is she can play that Breaker 2 and shut down the opponent's turn every single turn.
Yeah, true.
So at the very start, that response is real good. But what else does she do? Enhance, remove 3 cards from your discard pile. The next printed 3 damage attack you try to play gets -1 difficulty and +1 damage. Okay, so she cares about 3s like Lilith did. Lilith just recurred 3 damage attacks, the same way Uabami recurs blocks. Okay. Or then one version of her gave +1/+1. This one gives +1/-1 instead, but -1 to the difficulties. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Also, it kind of looks the same if you
squint enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you have the dress, which ends up exactly at the same point, and then you have the weird thing on the hair, be it wings or snakes, and then you have the kind of purple-ish background.
Different hair color, still cares about being purple, still has the red high heels. Yeah, there's a lot of similarity there.
No, just one symbol shared, but still, yeah.
Well, if you look at the second version of Lilith, it's 2 symbols shared.
Oh yeah,
Chaos and Earth. So yeah, she's Lilith.
Yep, that's Lilith.
And then enhance once per turn, your turn. Add 1 printed 3 damage attack from your discard pile to your hand.
Which is funny because it also reminds me of Lilith from Digimon, which is also purple.
Well, I mean, this also just recurs attacks the same way that 1-Dot Lilith did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very much.
Bunch of Liliths. Purple.
I'm sort of wondering how much support there's going to be for this, because if every attack is doing 4 damage, that's not a vast amount of damage.
Yeah,
everything else is great, but she needs 3 damage attacks and ways to buff them.
Well, I mean, I guess Specialized Soundwaves is a 3 damage attack. If you have 1 exactly in your deck, you can keep picking it up. It's a 1+ mid block, which is great, and it's flash, and you can draw cards out of it. So it can be interesting.
Now, the downside of flash here is that you can't use either of these enhances on it.
That is true, yeah. You'd have to use it in a separate attack.
Also, thing to note here is that enhance remove 3 cards from your discard pile is meaning you're going to have less cards in your discard pile to use the second enhance, so...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you only need to keep 1 card there, but you need to keep filling your discard pile so that you're not removing that 1 for the top enhance.
I can see the problem there because she's quite slow in attacking. Usually I haven't really seen many people reshuffle their decks in MHA, so that wouldn't be a problem. But now that I think about it, since she's so slow, it might actually become a problem if she can't finish it before she decks out. And then there's so many cards removed that that might be a bit tricky.
This is a character who may well want to end up playing more than 50 cards.
On the other hand, you can remove exactly the cards you need to remove and thin out your deck to exactly what you need for maybe the last turn, which might be interesting.
Yes. I feel like she has potential, but with the cards I've seen so far, I don't think she's going to be quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't play any of these 3 symbols, so I don't know exactly.
I reckon this is a character to watch out for when more sets drop, but for now, I don't think she's going to be too good.
Yeah. It's shenanigans potential, but not quite there yet.
Then we have probably the most confusing card that I've seen in all of MHA so far. Because people are already confused a lot by how actions work, and this is an action that doesn't work like other actions.
Let me test my knowledge.
Okay, so what do you do to play this first response?
Okay, response. After your attack deals more than its printed damage, your rival discards 1 card. So, well, you play an attack, and you buff it, and then it deals damage, and after it deals damage... is it after damage has been dealt? Yes. Then you play this as a response, right?
Yeah, so it's during the damage step, after the attack has dealt damage, but before the damage step ends, you say response, reveal this from your hand, then check for it, then put it into your card pool. Then if your opponent has no responses, the effect happens, and they discard a card.
Yeah.
So that's how that works. Now, how does this second effect work?
After this card is checked to play an attack, this attack has +1 speed and +3 damage. Remove. Yeah, so if, let's say I play an attack, and I track it, and if that check happens to be Overflowing Power, I remove Overflowing Power, and then my attack has +1 speed and +3 damage.
Right, so you didn't fall into the trap there, which was to think that this ability works like the other ability and requires you to actually play the card.
Oh.
Because it does not.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it doesn't.
You do not have to check for that.
All right, I finally understand actions.
However, the interesting thing is you do have to remove this card as cost for the effect.
Okay. So you could just not do it,
You can't loop this over and over. And B, by the time the effect goes off, this card is gone. But yeah, this is just a free buff to your attack when you check it.
Oh, now I remember. You told me of this card.
Yeah, I told you about this card because this was such a weird card.
Yeah, because it's simple.
It does something real cool. Because we've seen effects like this before on cards like, say, Bakugo's Burst Speed that cares about being checked during the enhanced step.
Yeah.
But unlike Burst Speed, this has this glowy explosion around the forecheck to specifically say, this is a check with an asterisk. This does something as well as the number.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Because there's a card in Jiro's set as well, a foundation, which does that, and I keep forgetting to do something when it checks. And it's a really good thing as well.
I have, when running this sort of card, been specifically altering my cards so that the text box is a different color, so that when I check them, I go, why is that different? Oh, got to play that ability.
Yeah,
Specialist of Sound is just a recreation of a Cowboy Bebop card, which I'll look up and put in the video, but the point is, all of these cards have been a problem for a while. It's just a memory issue. It's a spotting that ability's there when so much is going on in the game. And adding in this explosion here gives you a visual indicator. Makes the game so much easier. I love this. Genuinely, this is the best change they have made to the card frames in years.
It might sound like you're exaggerating it, but like when you play, you really forget about these things.
Yeah.
So this is actually quite helpful. It also makes the card look cooler.
Every card has multiple abilities. You have action cards in hand. You have multiple foundations on the field with abilities. Your attack has abilities. Things in your opponent's card pool can have abilities.
Yep.
You're not paying attention to the abilities on every card you check.
No, absolutely not. That's one of the issues I have with playing this game.
Genuinely, this is a huge change, and I love it.
Also love the art of that card. Just pretty cool.
But you know what else is huge, Dota?
The power that he's overflowing with.
Yes. And you know where that power comes from?
All for One?
No, it comes from today's sponsor, Crimson Tiger Energy Drink. Crimson Tiger Energy being the #1 energy drink for competitive gamers and esports players in the world of Arcade Spirits The New Challengers, which we are currently playing over on Twitch on Thursdays. It is a visual novel by Fiction Factory Games, written by Stefan Gagne, who was one of my favorite authors back in university. And yeah, it's a wonderful game. It's not a real sponsor at all. Yeah, they haven't. The game has not sponsored me. I mean, Stefan Gagne did come into one of my streams, and I was very happy to see him there and basically have his support on me just nerding out about UniVersus in the middle of his games. Did not realize who he was or that he was the author of City of Angles at the time. But yeah, I would recommend his early work in City of Angles because that is a wonderful piece of fiction that explores basically what happens when a guy gets inserted into a parallel universe made up of randomly mashed together bits of the real world. And 12 chapters in, it reaches a very cliche ending that I'm not going to spoil because it might give a bit too much away if I did. And then for the next 40-something chapters, it explores what it means to live with that ending and carry on, rather than just ending it there. And my god, it was mind-blowing.
Nice. I appreciate when they do that kind of thing.
I've looked the guy up since, and apparently his work is classified as horror. I would not say such. His work is psychological, it's existential. I would not say it is horror of either of those categories. It's genuinely really thought-provoking about existence, and despite it being a visual novel, a dating sim, he still brings the same kind of energy to Arcade Spirits. I mean, first game, sort of 2-3 chapters in, really broke down the mentality of the protagonist and had them questioning why they were doing what they were doing, what their dream was in life, everything. Second game, The New Challengers, does that again, right out the gate, and then does it for all of the potential love interests as well. And just, yeah, my god, never have I been so pleased to be labeled a toxic esports player. That's it for today's sponsor, and we'll get back to the main game now. If you want to see more of these games, come view us on Twitch. Link down in the description down below.
You could say that Arcade Spirits makes you overflow with energy.
With power.
With power. Close. Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. But yeah, moving on to our fifth card, we have the Sports Festival Stadium. And this one's also really interesting, because this has the keyword terrain here, which I went over in my recent keywords video. but we haven't seen any MHA card yet. And extra interesting is there's no reminder text for it down here either, which is very surprising given that this is essentially a new keyword MHA. Do you know what terrain does, Joda?
I actually don't, and it's a blue keyword, so it actually does something.
Yes. A blue keyword means it's static text, and this is static text very similar to the unique keyword. However, unlike the unique keyword, it applies across both staging areas, and you don't get to choose which version to get rid of.
So it's like those spells in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Field spells or Magic World enchantments, if you've been around in Magic long enough to deal with them. It basically says, this is an asset that represents terrain. There can only be one terrain in play. Only the newest terrain stays in play.
Okay.
But the other thing that's interesting about terrain design is usually they will have an ability that affects both players. In this case, while this card is in your stage, after a player takes damage from an attack, they lose 1 health. That affects both you and your opponent.
Yeah, I can see.
So this is real good for throw players, though, because you guarantee that every attack deals damage, and then you inflict an extra health loss. And then if you're on death, I believe you can pair this with Shigaraki's kit. One of his foundations specifically flips when the opponent loses life, to make them lose 1 more.
And in general, he just makes you lose 5 health extra.
Yeah, but you can play his kit in anyone alongside this. You can play it in Himiko, who also cares about the opponent losing health. So this is definitely a card that's going to see play, because it fits really nicely into certain characters. Or even just fits really nicely into using certain characters' kits in other characters.
I can see it being really annoying for players who play things like Eraserhead with low health.
Oh, yeah. Eraserhead is going to hate this. But Erase does have the ability to seal this.
Oh yeah, it can seal assets as well.
But still, that's using Erase and taking it out of the game.
Yeah.
So that's a terrible time for him. Losing one of his copies of Erase to deal with this every turn.
But you're not going to play 4 turns, right? You're not going to play 4 turns.
So you're not going to get rid of every copy of Erase that way. But it means if he's dealing with any other problem cards as well, he's going to be really suffering.
You would have to play it pretty early on to get maximum utility out of it.
Yeah.
So playing it right away means 1 less foundation. I don't know, maybe. It's hard to say, but I feel like it could deal with it. It could.
The obvious way to deal with this as a Razorhead is also pack terrains. Play your own terrain, use your terrain to remove this terrain. However, the issue with that is there are no other terrains yet, and you don't want to be playing this because this will hurt you as much as it will hurt your opponent.
Yeah. Well, you get the response, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending on what that does.
The response is only usable by the owner. This is response commit. After your rival blocks your attack, discard their block and draw 1 card. This just makes life easier for facing a Razorhead again, because a Razorhead wants to block everything to keep himself alive.
Rival blocks your attack. Let me read this. He blocks your attack, discard their block and draw a card. It's just get an extra card that reduces their difficulty, right?
Yeah, you reduce their difficulty, but also, note, as turn player, you get response before they do. So you know what else this does?
It removes their erase if they block with it.
This shuts down Breaker.
Oh, okay. Didn't think about that. That's pretty good.
This is real good.
That's definitely something for my side deck.
If I happen to be playing these symbols, this will go in my main deck, because this says no to anybody shutting down my turn with Breaker. This says no to any abilities on my opponent's block. This draws me an extra card on my attack turn to replace the fact that I had to expend an extra card on my setup turn. And this just pushes through extra loss of health.
I like this, yeah. And it gives you more attacks, which is good. Well, possibly more attacks. It draws you cards.
Yeah, exactly. It fills your hand up more on your attack turn. I mean, worst comes to the worst, it gives you an extra block.
Yep. Could see this work with Jiro as well.
I don't see this working with Jiro.
The whole draw
Jiro
thing,
wants to play as many cards in a turn as possible.
Yeah, so it wants to draw as many cards as possible.
So having less foundations is a negative.
It's a loss, of course. You have to play an asset, you lose a foundation. There's a certain gamble there. But I could see this working if you really need more cards, which sometimes with Jiro can be a bit annoying. Unless you really get the combo in, then it's easy.
Actually, don't you have that one card in Jiro/Momo that just picks up an asset from your discard pile anyway?
I have one card which plays an asset from my discard pile, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So you just pick up this.
Discard 1 card, build 1 asset from your discard pile face up.
Yeah, so there we go. You can build the Sports Festival Stadium that way. That's how she plays it.
Yeah, neat. That's
she
great
want to
because...
hard play it. She wants to pick it up during her attack turn like that.
Yeah, that's great, because I felt with Unwavering Slash the problem was I have that one asset and that's it. I mean, I can replay it if it was the other one is committed, but having this with terrain was Pretty cool. Just like one terrain extra.
And of course, if you build it in during your attack turn, you guarantee that your opponent can't replace it with another terrain between your turn and theirs.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, Jiro actually is going to do really well with this. I do have some other things to say about Jiro and the way you play her, but we'll save that for another video, because I have some stuff that might turn that on its head a little bit.
Okay.
Right, next up we have Award the Victor, which is a 3 difficulty foundation. Looks to be All Might based, but these symbols aren't All Might. And yeah, All Might has All and possibly Order, depending on which version of him you play. But he's not really a Chaos character, and there's no good on here. So this is 3 difficulty and unique. You definitely don't want to be playing 4 of this, but 2 might go well. Let's see. Response flip. After your attack deals damage, add it to the top of your deck. Your next check to play an attack gets +2. So this is Gyro Drive Smash's effect, except this is on a foundation. And the nice part is, because this is a response flip rather than an enhance, you only do it if you already know your attack has dealt damage, so it can never be wasted like Gyro Drive Smash's ability can. And basically, this just guarantees that your next check is a 5, unless you have a way of changing the top card of your deck, in which case you can guarantee a 7 or 8 instead.
This is interesting. You do need, though, to draw that card somehow, right? There is a card in the starter deck which draws 2 cards. What is it called again?
That's on an enhance, though. This needs to be in between your attacks, so you need a draw as a form, which, to be fair, I believe All Might has. Form once per turn, permanently reduce your character's hand size by 1, draw 3 cards. So this puts the attack on top, gives the next check +2, then he picks the attack back up with his form and plays it again.
Yeah, that works.
And I do like that it's got a +1 high block, so that's a real good block for if you get a second copy of this and can't use it because of the unique. And if you end up not blocking with it, then, oh well, you flip it during the next turn after your attack deals damage and then play the second copy. This is...
I kind of like it. I feel like it's a bit tricky to play, or maybe I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, it's a bit clunky, but the people who use it are going to get a lot out of it. I've just noticed a thing. Trey Chic Cape.
But symbols.
Oh, goddammit, it shares no symbols. Okay, are there any unflips on all Chaos and Order? No, there are no unflips on these symbols.
Shame.
Really. That's a shame, but hey, it still seems like a pretty decent card.
Yeah, now I think about it, it's actually pretty good.
So finally, Childhood Friends. This is a unique ally foundation. And this one's only a 2 diff, but it does have a terrible block.
Yeah, 3 low.
So this is clearly meant for Deku. Let's just quickly bring up what the new Deku looks like. Discards a card to give punch attack plus speed and damage, but also once per turn commits a foundation to build a duplicate foundation that he's checked. So does Childhood Friends work with... Wait, what symbols is that? Okay, so that's Earth and Life, but it's good, whereas this is Fire. So this is a Fire Deku thing? I guess it's so that it also works with Bakugo a bit. Response, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. After your powerful attack is blocked, gain 1 health and your rival loses 1 health? That doesn't seem very Deku. That seems a lot more All Might or possibly even Stain.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah. Then we got Response Flip. At the start of your end phase, add 1 attack that matches 2 or more symbols with your starting character. So we got symbols matter here. I think this is the first time we've seen number of matching symbols matter in MHA. But it was a staple in Yu Yu Hakusho. Specifically, Yusuke cared about number of symbols that matched, and a lot of his foundations cared about specifically matching 2. Friends and Rivals being the big one.
So this would work on both attacks that dealt damage and didn't deal damage. There's nothing there. Yes, anything in your card pool.
Any attack that stays in your card pool and stays face up.
Yeah, cool. So anything that deals damage goes to momentum, and then if something didn't deal damage, you just get for next turn again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you want, you could also pick something up that
just throw Wrath of the Raging Demon every turn.
Yeah. Are there any unique attacks? Well, that wouldn't make sense, would it?
No, because there's nothing that cares about unique in the card pool.
Yeah. It's only in this stage.
Yeah, I think there's 1 attack in the entire game that builds face up.
And you're talking about the entire game of UniVersus, not MHA.
The entire game of UniVersus and UFS, because it was back in one of the very first Soul Calibur sets.
Okay. If this attack deals 5 or more damage during your end phase, you may move this attack into a stage as a foundation instead of adding it to your momentum. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. It's the only card that goes to your stage face up as an attack. And actually, the rules don't even allow for that anymore.
Hold on a minute.
Actually, I suppose the rules do allow for it because it specifies that it becomes a foundation.
Oh, it says if this attack... Wait, the enhance wouldn't work anymore as a foundation, would it? Wait, I'm super confused here.
Oh,
Because
God.
it says if this attack, does that only refer to this annihilation attack? Or
No, this refers to the current attack.
current attack, yes. So any new attack that is played can also get this E and become a new foundation.
My God, Annihilation was busted. How did I not see that?
And it's not once per turn, so you completely remove progressive difficulty once this is in your stage.
Well, unless your opponent blocks stuff.
Okay, yeah, true.
Or
Yeah.
otherwise reduces the damage below 5. But even so.
Well, if you could play this with Bakugan, every time something is blocked, you just remove it from your stage anyway. That'd be pretty funny. They wouldn't even share a symbol, I think, right? So it wouldn't even matter.
I'm pretty sure
Bakugan
Bakugo has air.
That would be pretty funny.
Wait, but then that means when all of Bakugo's stuff goes down, you know what's even worse there? If it goes to his stage, then all of his attacks can also go to his stage.
Yep.
And then all of them can use their enhancers from the stage.
Yep, and if not, response, and then it just goes to your discard pile.
Oh, this is why we don't play legacy cards, folks.
There's no such thing as
everything.
Yeah, no progressive difficulty ever. Once you get it done, which it was a 6-check attack, but like if you get it very early on, that's that. Right?
No, there's still progressive difficulty if your opponent manages to reduce the damage below 5.
True. Okay, but it's Bakugo, right? You're gonna bump up that difficulty.
Yeah, and bearing in mind that you keep gaining more foundations, you can then just destroy those attacks that are now foundations to give plus damage.
Oh yeah, destroy on foundation, your attack gets plus damage. Forgot about
you
this.
just keep generating foundations, so you just keep getting rid of them and get the plus damage to guarantee that 5.
And I'm pretty sure you have a few attacks which care about how many Fury attacks you have in your discard pile, and for each of them you get more damage.
I gotta build Legacy Bakugo now, because this is broken as all goddamn hell.
The only thing you need is a way to generate more and more cards in your hand.
Once you get that. If we're playing Legacy, that's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, true. But the challenge would be to play as few Legacy cards as possible, you know? Just to see if one card would change the whole thing. Because that would really prove that you can't play Legacy in this set.
Yeah. Anyway, you got a little bit off topic. Childhood Friends looks like a real good card. It's definitely a finisher for Bakugo if he's playing the loser combo rather than playing his regular game.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it lets you pick up attacks to guarantee that you can use your effects to pick up more attacks means that actually I might want to play this in Ochako or somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of the problems with Ochako is that she's constantly picking up Meteor Shower from her momentum, but she can only do it as an enhance.
Mm-hmm. So, I just realized Childhood Friends is one of these foundations which gets you more cards over and over again.
Not over and over and over again, because this was a response flip, but...
Oh, yeah, true.
That one attack that you pick up with certain cards like Meteor Shower translates into 3 or more attacks in your hand, gives you an entire attack turn that you otherwise wouldn't have had. So this is incredibly valuable to certain characters, at least. So yeah, Childhood Friends, love it, works with so many strategies. It's not busted. It's
the only thing that I don't like, as you said before, is the blocker. A 3 is pretty harsh.
Yeah. I also don't like the unique on my 2-diff. Unique on my 3-diff's fine. Unique on a 2-diff, that's limiting how much I can actually play of this effect. And this effect is real good, I want it.
Yeah.
But also, I can see why you don't want the health drain on every single attack to be more than once.
Yeah, that would be pretty busted. Heal and burn at the same time.
Yeah. Award the Victor. It's situational again. It's also very costly, but the block is nice. The effect is real good. This is going to see play in certain characters, certainly.
I think it's really good.
Sports Festival Stadium, likewise. It's going to really punish high hand size characters who want to block a lot, and it's going to help chip damage strategies like, say, Tsuyu and Jiro and all those sorts of characters. It's good. Yeah. It's also going to help throw characters, actually, because this doesn't say none throw attack.
Oh yeah, throw always deals damage.
But the fact that Jiro can just build this in also makes it wild.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play like maybe one of them. Depends on what I'm going to play at that point. Jiro might not be the best thing to play or the most interesting thing to play. But right now, if I could play this card, I would definitely have one of them at least in my deck.
And yeah, I believe we're getting this set at the end of next month. So this card should be legal not too far from now. Then we have Overflowing Power, which is... Cool. And this is superhero know-how, basically, but on an action.
Yeah.
And first effect, not that great because it fills your card pool. and it's just a 1-for-1. And your rival even gets to choose which card, so it's worse than a good 1-for-1. But it can do the last little bit of emptying their hand without you having to go through an attack. And that check effect is real nice, and that check visual effect is absolutely wonderful. I love it. I love what this means for the game. I really hope we get some nice promo reprints of the old cards that had this sort of effect, like Burst Speed, like that one Jiro one, so that we can get this visual effect on them. Because this is an absolute game changer, and I really want to see more of it.
I think this might be my favorite card in this bunch. It's just so much right with it.
Yeah. And Uabami, I don't feel like she's a big deal right now. I don't feel like 3 damage attacks are powerful enough. But in a few sets' time, I bet she's just going to come out of nowhere and demolish people.
Yep.
Selkie seems real good, generates momentum, doesn't care about progressive, basically gives himself a free fatality for 2 rather than for 1 momentum on his first attack turn. Just goes wild. If there are enough momentum dumps for him to do stuff with, he is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, definitely going to consider playing him.
And then Gunhead is just king but fixed. He's going to be real cool.
Well, fixed other than the cool mask, you know? That isn't a mask.
I mean, they fixed the mask so that it makes sense with his head, right?
Yeah, but the king mask is cooler.
Yeah, the king mask is cooler. So yeah, there you go. There's our thoughts on this set's promo cards. Hope you've enjoyed seeing them all, and we'll catch you again next time, whenever that may be. Or catch us on stream every weekday but Tuesday at 8 PM BST or GMT, whichever UK time zone we happen to be in at the time. See you then, everyone, and do feel free to chat to us about UniVersus whenever. Bye.
Bye, everyone.